Check engine light on the 2011 Dodge Journey Main Street. This is a 3.6 liter engine. The check engine light states that there's a gross evap leak. So we've already replaced the gas cap with the E85 Mopar gas cap. It's brand new. We've also went ahead and replaced the purge valve, which is, give you an idea of where that is. Sorry for the shakiness here. Basically, we replaced the purge valve, which is that guy down there, and the vacuum harness that goes with it. That's all brand new. That goes right here under the engine cover. So these are all brand new parts. The code is still there. So the next logical step is going to be to replace the ESIM, which is the Evap System Integrity Module, or leak detection pump, is what Mopar calls it. So that's where we're at now. That is located just under the spare tire. So we have the spare tire lowered and removed, and then the next step we're getting to is basically to remove or just drop down this tray for the spare tire. So we got 4 bolts here. We got one here, and I'm sorry, 4 nuts. One here. There's one back in this little recess here, and there's one here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take those off, and I'll get back with you. Alright, so the 4 bolts are off, the tray comes out, and now we have access to the canister, and this is going to be the leak detection pump right here. Let me try to get in there, get a good angle. It's this right here, right there. So basically, I guess to make it easier, I can unbolt this bracket here, and that's probably what I'm gonna do. So it looks like just a 10 and then maybe some 13s or 14s right here, and that's gonna bring this down and give us access to this pump here, which should just be held on by a it just screws into place, and then there's a hose, basically an evap hose that goes to it, as well as a connector, a power connector. So let me go ahead and get that off, and we'll go from there. Alright, so we got that bracket off, and now we can see there's easy access to the pump, or the ESIM for this 2011 Dodge Journey. So the first step here is to get this evap hose off. It should just twist right off, but this is a 150,000 or 100, maybe 135,000 mile vehicle, so we might have to take this off with just a tad bit of force. So I'm going to go ahead and take this hose off. It's going to be easier to do with 2 hands, and then I'll get back with you. Alright guys, so I got the hose off, just pulled on it with both hands. So this, again, it just kind of screws in there. Only thing left to do is this electrical connector here, which looks like there's like a clip that we'll have to pop loose with the flat tip screwdriver, and then there's a tab that you'll pull off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll let you know if that's what you got to do, and get right back with you. Alright guys, so that blue tab does look like it's supposed to come out, but with age and all that, it didn't want to pop up. So what I did was, inside the connector here, there's a little tab. I just put a screwdriver in there. There's like a little tab on the actual module that that clasps onto. So I just pried that up a little and just pulled it out. I didn't want to damage the connector trying to force this blue lock out of it. So now that that's off, basically we're going to go ahead and replace this with a Mopar genuine part, and button all this back up, Alright guys, so I have the Mopar genuine part. That's the part number here. Some of these on the Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Ram vehicles, they don't use an O-ring. They just kind of snap into place. Our particular model, an O-ring came out, so that means we'll use an O-ring. And it comes with an O-ring, so that's good. So basically we'll put the O-ring on the opening here, and then we'll screw this back in place, put the electrical connector on, and then put the Evap hose back on it. And then I'll come back to you with that installed again, and then I'm going to let you know why this fails. Alright guys, so we got the connector back connected. Replaced the O-ring that kind of sandwiches between the pump and the canister. And then we got the Evap hose connected back on. So that is good to go. I'm just going to make sure that the O-ring is sitting flush on the canister, and it looks like it is. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and button this all up, and that's going to be it. I'll come back to you with why this fails. Alright, these are the tools you're going to need for this job. We got a flat head screwdriver just to disconnect the electrical connector, 10 millimeter socket, and that's to drop the spare tire tray, as well as unbolt a bracket. You got a 9/16 for two more nuts on a bracket, and you can have a little extension here, or just a little standard socket. I got a swivel head socket that makes everything easier for me. And then obviously you'll only want to replace your car parts with genuine Mopar. So you're on your Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles, or Chrysler vehicles, you'll want to always use a Mopar, not the Chinese eBay stuff. Alright, so let's talk about why this thing fails. Now, during normal operation, this thing is going to stay open pretty much most of the time that you're driving. But during some conditions, the ECU will command it closed, and that's to check to see if it's if there's a leak in the Evap system, so it'll close off. But essentially, what it is it'll get stuck open, right? And when it gets stuck open, the system sees that as a large leak, because that's what this is a leak detection pump. So again, during normal operations they'll stay open, but then sometimes the ECU will command it close, and it doesn't close. So that's that's the problem with these. They're just cheap little plastic modules. I think I paid like $50 for this, or something like that, maybe even less. It takes about 20 minutes of your time to replace on a Dodge Journey. I didn't see any videos on YouTube or anything like that on how to replace this for a 2011 Dodge Journey specifically. This was the third thing I replaced in the Evap system, after I replaced the gas cap and the purge solenoid with the vacuum harness that is on the purge solenoid for a Evap leak error that I got. So this is basically a common error on all Chrysler, Jeep, and Dodge vehicles, is the whole gas Evap system. Evap system leaks are super common on these cars, but yeah, this is where we're at. Again, 15 minutes of my time, and hopefully that fixes my issue.